Hello there everyone, and welcome back to another video in this, the Battle of the First Crusades battle series for Medieval to Total War. So we've marched on from Antioch and we have now reached Jerusalem, as we can see here. And the army that we are looking at right now is the army of Raymond of Toulouse, and over to this side, since the Crusaders decided on a two-pronged attack on the city, and over here we've got the even more famous Crusade general Godfrey, and he is also preparing to storm the city. I didn't actually notice this side because holy crap, I was defending against Toulouse, or Raymond of Toulouse, so I was over here, and now we can see that the siege tower is actually on fire. So the premise of the battle was the siege of Jerusalem, and the way in which they attacked the siege of
thrice-cursed siege tower has reached our walls. Hold back the invaders.
So the way in which they attacked,
the enemy's tricks have gained him nothing. The siege tower is destroyed.
Yes, I know that very well, Mr. Advisor. Now shut up. So the way in which they attacked the city was much like the other sieges. They started trying to besiege the city or lay it within siege to starve it out. But generally speaking, the Crusaders were generally worse off than the people inside the city. So they were starving yet again, and things weren't going that well for them. And there weren't enough wood. They couldn't get enough wood to build siege engines. So they were in a bit of a trouble yet again, but luckily for them, two ships arrived from Genoa with crew that came to help them in their crusade, and they actually dismantled the boats and then used that wood to build these siege towers. They built two of them. One in which Raymond led against the, if I'm correct, it was the Tower of David, and that area, and then Godfrey took his tower and attacked a bit further away on a less guarded area. But to make it sort of interesting to play, we made it quite heavily guarded. And we can see the Crusaders are now crossing in over the wall. And it was actually quite historically correct that this tower burnt. So this tower burnt down because the Muslims poured burning oil and they shot burning arrows on it. They tried to pull this tower down as well, and what they tried to do was they tried to attach ropes with grappling hooks on the side and then try to pull the entire thing down. But what the Crusaders have done is similar to, if you've seen Games of Thrones, when the wildlings attack the wall, they sort of have this giant scythe on the side there on the wall, and they drop it down and it sort of cuts away the wildlings trying to climb up. They had a similar thing on the side of the tower, so they dropped a scythe that cut the ropes and saved the tower, and the Muslim defenders were unable to destroy this tower and Godfrey was able to get his men into the city. So what else can I say? There's a lot to say, but you can take a look here a bit more on the fighting. I actually managed to, someone for the last video said, can't you remove the banners? And there's no actual quick thing you can do in the menu to remove the banners. So instead you have to go into the configuration and then remove the banners from there. So it's kind of arduous, but it does work, so you can do it. Although at the time, the problem of course is that you'll have to close down the game. Everyone you want to turn the flags back on, and it's a lot easier playing when you're playing sort of competitive to have the flags on, so you note your units and so on. So I could talk a bit about defenders actually. We got Iftikhar, which was the sort of governor of Jerusalem, and in the anticipation of the Crusaders obviously going for Jerusalem, he actually expelled most of the Christian population, and also what he did was he poisoned a lot of wells in the area to deny water supply to the Crusaders. You can see here some desert archers firing away down on the Crusaders. This unit is almost completely destroyed. There's only 10 men left. But of course, since the Raymond's tower burned down, he's gonna have to move his entire army over here. We can see them moving over there. So they will be all concentrating on this tower. And rather than just, because this place were pretty good defended by Skull, which were defending this side. So in the end we decided that rather than having the entire fight here constantly throughout the battle, we switched it up and we'll let the Crusaders actually capture the wall and get into the city, because it was just taking too long for them to get through here. And as we can see, there's a unit stuck in here as they were retreating, and that limits the access for the guys coming up. So they're coming in one by one, and since the medieval has a system where multiple units can attack each other, the guy that comes down gets attacked by at least 3 people, and he doesn't have time to fight back. So it's sort of a meat grinder, and the Crusaders are getting cut down by one. So they're gonna have to, so there were quite a few problems there. I also actually told Skull not to burn the tower, because that was the only way in. Both of the Crusader armies should have had one of these rams. Unfortunately, Raymond forgot to bring his ram, just as an extra thing to see if they could get through the gate that way as well. Although historically, I do not believe they attacked the gate in this way. Instead, they went over. Godfrey managed to get over the wall, and then the troops around there surrendered, and they were able to capture the gate, and then let the rest of them in. And they went into town, plundering and killing everyone. And unlike the previous times, this time they didn't actually kill that many Christians. But the reason behind that was because Iftikhar, of course, had, as I said earlier, he had expelled the Christians. So that's why they didn't kill any Christians. Otherwise, they probably would have killed a few Christians as well. What else can I say about this? Well, oh yeah, I can talk about earlier in the battle. You might wonder why Raymond of Toulouse is here and not Baudemont, which has been part of most of the other battles. Well, after the capture of Antioch, the inner city, of course, surrendered to Beaumont directly, and he actually took Antioch as his own, and he created the Principality of Antioch, or later became the Principality of Antioch, and he actually stayed there. So that was his castle now, and he was gonna rule that area, and he didn't give that much thought more about the Crusades. Although I think we might be able, we'll probably see him a bit more later on. Later on, he was also captured by the Saracens, but released. And it looks as though we've got some knights coming off here, coming off the siege tower, and they're able to inflict quite some casualties here on the dismounted Arab cavalry. But there's a lot more where they do where these guys come from. So there's, I think Skull had 4 units. So we got a second unit coming in, and after that we've got 2 other units standing by ready to move up. We also got Numidian spearmen, Kurdish javelin men, and very important for this battle, we got the Neftatunes, which is basically gonna turn the battle very much in our favor later on in the battle. They're gonna inflict quite heavily damage on the Crusaders. So when the Crusaders actually reached Jerusalem, a lot of them were, of course, since it's taken them 3 years, and since about only a quarter of the men that took part from the beginning actually still were alive, quite a few of them got very emotional seeing the city that they had fought so long and hard to get to, that they started to cry just upon looking on the city, is what is said about it. But as I said, they didn't have enough to properly siege it, and they didn't have siege towers until later on in the battle, when the Genoans came. So what they did was they laid siege to it and tried to starve it out, which wasn't working, as I said before. And during all of this, they're of course starving, and what they decided to do, some zany monk got the idea that he had seen an epiphany of some sort, and he had seen some great ghost of something very Christian and so on, and apparently the ghost or the epiphany had said that they should fast. Well, that wasn't too hard since they were already starving and they actually didn't have any food to eat, so most people complied with the fast. They actually did that quite a lot of times, although I didn't mention it for all of them, but for most of the parts when they were starving, some monk or something said that he had got a message from God that said that they should fast. Did I say feast before? I meant fast, that they should stop eating, and sort of a religious thing that you don't eat. And so they were supposed to fast for something like 11 days. And what they also did was that, if you've maybe heard about the siege of Jericho, where I can't remember exactly, my Bible stories aren't that well, but basically what it is, they sort of blew trumpets around the town to break down the walls, and they tried to replicate that, not trying to blow a lot of trumpets to break down the wall, because that's quite clearly an insane thing to think that would sort of be able to pull down the walls. But what they did was they went bare feet, and they moved around the entire circle, moved around the entire town, and then they stomped on the Mountain of Olives, where Peter the Hermit, among others, held his sermon, and sort of to inspire the men to keep going, since they were in quite a dire situation. Also, the Fatimid Empire had sent an army of about 30,000 or something like that, that were on their way to relieve Jerusalem. So similar to Antioch, they sort of had time pressure on them to get into the city. And as you can see, we have been watching this for quite a while now, and they haven't gone that much further, and they keep fighting. And I think I'll actually cut here, and we'll see when the Crusaders are let into the city, or we allow them to come in. Although they're gonna have killed quite a lot of guys before that, so we didn't let them in easy. But eventually we thought, we can't have them fight here constantly, so we're gonna have to rethink that and actually let them capture the gate. So we're gonna go do a bit of a cut, and yeah. And as we can see now, we have given up the wall, and the Crusaders. You can just look at all the dead people that are lying here. Although right now, as you can see, the percentage here is that we have lost 35. When I say we, I mean the Saracen defenders, and the Crusaders have lost 40% of their men. You can just see all the dead bodies. And I think I didn't actually, well, first I want to correct, I think I said something about, I think I call it the Mountain of Olives. It's the Mound of Olives. And the significance of it, if you're not that into Christian stuff, or if you don't know, it's, I actually had to Google it myself, because I knew it had something to do with Jesus. I thought it might be the place where he got crucified, but that's of course another place. This is actually, that was the place where he ascended to heaven. I think we have got someone actually fighting over there. So we haven't totally given it up. We got a Kurdish guy here, and I think he just nailed one of the French knights. He's got the rest of his friends over here fighting. The French knight doesn't seem that concerned about having the Kurdish guy stab at him. Not enough so that he wants to return the blows. But anyways, they're gonna start moving through here pretty soon. Although they're a bit bugged. I'm not sure exactly what they're doing. Enjoying the view, I guess. Pretty nice city there. And historically, upon this point, the city was basically lost. But for the purpose of having a competitive game, the battle is going to rage on, and we're going to move inside the city. And since my army didn't really fight here, we shot quite a few arrows, and quite a few of Raymond's men got killed here. Quite a few crossbowmen. And a bit of the other soldiers there. See if some knights were crushed under the tower as it fell down. And I didn't lose that many of my own men. A few fell to crossbow bolts, but not nearly enough as many as Raymond. So they've lost quite a few men, and we got my reinforcement, or my troops standing ready here in center of town to move out. We're gonna quite soon move out into town, take up some positions, and fight the Crusaders in the streets. I'm gonna do a move which I thought was pretty impressive, and I managed to use the streets to my advantage. and actually trap part of the Crusader army and capture quite a few of them. Also the naphtha tunes. Skull is gonna use the naphtha tunes to great effect. He's gonna be able to send the Crusaders off. Just not by just killing them, because we actually checked and the naphtha tunes only killed about 150 men, which wasn't that much. But the effect on the Crusaders' morale is immense, and we're gonna get quite a few of them to rout. So I'm moving my men around here to set up. So we're gonna set up a defensive position here with the dismounted Arab cavalry on either side, and we're gonna have Kurdish javelin men in the center. And over here I tried to hide my bowmen, but they won't actually. I was hoping that they would fire over here and fire into these streets, but quite a lot of them didn't actually reach over there, so that didn't happen.
Enemy have the walls! Drive them back!
So they've captured the gate now, and they're gonna start moving in. Let's go really close to see when they open. So we're waiting for you, little Crusader. Are you gonna come in? I can hear the march outside. Here we go. Quite a lot of troops there. Looks like there's the spear militia, I think, that have been slightly upgraded on their armor, so they got studded leather armor. And I think actually all of them are. Don't have any heavy units moving in yet. Although we got some really nice armored sergeants out here that hasn't been used in battle. And behind them we got some crazy fanatics. I think their weapon has been upgraded because they got those iron rings out in the clubs. And then we still have quite a few knights coming in. See, here we got dismounted knights, and here we got mounted. So at this point I was still kind of maybe we'll lose, maybe we'll win, not sure. And we can see here now the Crusaders have moved in all their it's sergeant spearmen actually, and they're moving in to attack, and they're gonna go attack on both sides here. Some are gonna swing around, come down here and attack my troops over there. Some are gonna come over here. Realizing that I'm able to trap them, I'm gonna send up some troops to up here. I believe I send up my dismounted Arab cavalry to distract them, so I sort of draw them out so they're not just here. You can see a few arrows coming from my archers over there. I was quite worried that they would just charge in the cavalry and take them all out. So I had moved a single unit of these dismounted Arab cav to defend in case they sent the cavalry through. Because if the cavalry would have gotten to these archers, I could have lost all of them. Just run them through. So we're gonna see here. What I'll do is, you can see the guy now. More of their army is moving in, but they're gonna stay off this part. And most of these guys are gonna march on this way, so I'm able to send up. I have actually 2 units here. I couldn't see because of the flags, but I've got 2. One is gonna move up and block this route, so no reinforcement can come in, and the other one's gonna move down and attack them here. And as we see now, I send in my Numidian spearmen to get them to get the enemy to form line here, ready to fight them. At the same time, they're getting pelted by by spears from the Kurdish javelin men over here. And quite a few guys are falling. And here they impact with the Numidian spearmen. We got a few knights here. I believe he meant to send them actually for my archers, but he sort of revealed his hand a bit early, and I was able to move these guys in. And now we're moving to entrap the enemy. So I'm gonna trap them off here, and we're gonna have trapped all these sergeant spearmen. I believe it's 3 units that he sent in, totaling something like 300 men or 200. And most of these guys are gonna get either slaughtered or captured by us. And at the same time we can see that they've started to engage us on this side as well. Same time as we are pelting them with spears. Oh, here comes the crazy fanatics. And the more heavily armored sergeants moving in. So it doesn't look good, but these guys are surprisingly good, the dismounted Arab cavalry. They've got a lot of defense, which makes them good blocking units. Oh, there's one crawling, and he got stabbed in the foot. Apparently that was the final kill that killed him. Oh, there's a guy that managed to get through somehow. Although there he goes. And he's gonna stab him. Oh, he doesn't even come close, but still the guy dies. And at the same time over here we can now see the encirclement. We got my units here, my units over there, and over there. And we're gonna see soon these guys are gonna head wavering. Most of them are wavering since they're surrounded. And ooh, the Neftatunes have started throwing their shit, their crazy coconut bombs. I didn't check if there was oh, here we go, here's the break. And all of these guys are gonna rout. Wow. Super Arab cavalry just walking through like bosses, capturing a load of men. We'll see if they move on here, but you'll see all of these guys dead or captured. Quite excellent move right there. I was pretty pleased with myself that I managed to do that. And I believe at this point the Crusaders started chanting at each other. You stupid, why didn't you help me? At the same time we can see we've locked up
Only half
quite
the enemy
a
force
big
remains.
force.
We must pray they lose their will to fight.
We've locked up quite a big force here, fighting, and they haven't made any headway really against this unit. Well, a bit. They've gained 3 meters or something. It's not a lot. And a lot of these guys are gonna get tired as the fighting draws on. Plus, we're sort of fighting in the shade of the great Muslim thingamajiggy over there. I can't remember what it's called. Here it's called Great Yama. I can't recall now what the actual the Muslim holy place in Jerusalem is called. Pretty badly researched by me there, but That's how it goes. But we're not here to look at buildings, we're here to look at fighting. And there's quite savage fighting going on right here, as they fight for controls over the streets. Oh, we missed that. We should have closed up on that. The guy just he hit the dismounted Arab, like he used his club to punched away the feet underneath him and sort of fell him to the ground. Looked pretty cool. So we got that fight. Oh, we got even more guys coming in here. That's a pretty thick formation right there. And we got some other dudes standing by here, ready to join the battle if needed. And at the same time we got some knights over here fighting against my Numidians. Although my guys are starting to get really tired. Got some monks up there, crazy fanatics looking down on the fight. Gonna come around here, through here. But although I believe we got some Naftatunes in here, it's gonna start throwing their crazy coconut bombs. Gonna inflict quite a lot of damage. But most of all, they're gonna be able to rout enemy soldiers. And here we can see the Crusaders are gaining quite a lot of headway, but what I could have done is they could have double clicked to get the guys sort of fill up this area more. Although these guys are pretty tired as well. They're shaken and very tired, although they've only lost 3 men from their total of 120. Oh, here comes the crazy bombs. Start flying. See if we can get close-up effect of. Yeah, there we go. It's too much for them. They lost 8 guys out of a total of 100. They didn't even lose 10% of the unit. And it's too much for them. But the feudal knights is fighting on, and the heavily armored knights are really cutting down these Numidian spearmen. At the same time, these guys are coming down. Although I believe the monks are about to waver in rout. Yep, there we go. They've routed. Gonna get captured, and some of them are gonna get burned as they try to run for home. Anyways, this is a very long battle. I don't think I can show you everything unless the video goes on and becomes like an hour video. And I don't really think anyone wants that. You can see about what I can say is that the Crusaders lose, although the casualty rate is about 90% on both sides. But in the end, the fact that the Naftatunes are really gonna hammer it in on the knights, and they're gonna send them off. Of course, historically, the Crusaders were able to take Jerusalem and capture it. And here I've cut to what is me trying to charge out from the town center, and as I recall I was able to rout quite a few of his men attacking like this. I believe I was also aided by skulls and platoons. And my plan was just to, since the Crusaders are so tired and shaken, I was hoping to just run straight through them. So I keep pressing on since I was able to defeat these knights and they ran away. So I'll keep pressing on with the skulls and aftertunes coming up in my rear, helping me achieve my goal.
Flees before us like a herd of goats. Drive them from the battle. Rejoice! The infidel general lies dead.
And here we are for the end of the battle. Here we can see the statistics of it all. I lost most of my men. You can see that it's quite even in the amount of men remaining, although we were able to see the Crusaders off. So it's quite even here. You can see that it's only about a few hundred men difference. Most casualties inflicted by me was contributed by Kurdish javelin, who killed 264. And for Skull, we've got a Desert Archer killing 225, but on Skull side we got the Naftatunes, 127, the one that killed the most. Although the Naftatunes probably scared off more enemies than killed them, so they did quite a big impact on the battle. At least here we go. So the Battle of Jerusalem is over, and we'll be moving on to the last one, the Battle of Ashlon. and hopefully that video will be coming up pretty soon after this one, and that will be that for the First Crusade, and we'll probably take a little break from Crusader battles and we do something else, maybe the 30 Years' War, as I said before. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you for the next one. Bye!